Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, it's showtime. Hi, guys. I'm back. Lightning lens. Bzzzt. I did go through my stashes, my oh so many stashes, and swap out some gear for some better stuff. And I did a little more play, not a bunch. I'm on the second monolith. Okay, let's see. We got that finished. Where were we headed? Well, that one's... I don't understand why it's all webby. Guess it's saying that there must be a tomb there? Well, let's find out. Oh, this is an arena. Blech. I was considering trying a new game until I looked into it a little bit more. It's supposedly an MMO. Whoop. Mobile and PC, which gives me pause, to be sure. Something's throwing fireballs at me from far away, and it is not making me a happy man. Odin Valhalla Rising, something like that. Anyway, I looked at it for a bit, and not only is it mobile, but it's an auto fighter, and you don't have to cast any spells or use any skills to take care of the whole thing for you. Which is not ideally what I'm looking for in my games, which is for them to be game-free.
Fool! I cannot do that.
Oh, that's boss, I think.
I cannot do that.
Maybe not. Yeah, okay, it was. So, I won't be playing that one, because I prefer to actually play my games, not to watch the computer play them for me. I know. Just an old-fashioned guy, I guess. And I saw that D4 was launching their new season today, and I wasn't interested. And now, having looked in on it, the D4 subreddit is on fire. To say people are not happy is an understatement. No real content. No new real content. Voice work done by AI, at least on the Spanish client. And how many Spanish-speaking players could there be for a game named Diablo, which is Spanish for devil? So that's not great. And let's see, half as many goodies on the Battle Pass at a raised price. Blizzard, following PoE 2's 0.2 launch, has decided to make Last Epoch look so much better than they looked before. So I'm here with this one. On account of this is a game that values my time. Ever heard that trite phrase before? Claim a fit. Oh. Did I not finish this? Did I go to the wrong place? Maybe. That's why it would explain why it has. Both of those have it. Did it get scattered all around? Rewards for a great mage, which is obviously me. As I am a completely awesome mage. How about I just drop a big old meteor on your head, huh? How does that strike you? And on yours. And on yours. Oh, you didn't die. That's not fair. Oh. Alright, we'll go back for that stuff, but gotta couple things to pick up here first. Loot, loot, loot. I don't have a filter set up for this character yet. I should do that. A lot of things I should do. Oh, I leveled again. Well, that's just a terrible burden, you know? Yeah, I believe 3 got us more mana as ward. There's no way that's not good news. And that, in the background you can probably hear, will be a scam or fraud phone call, so I'm going to mute for a second. They hung up, which is how I know, yeah, scam or fraud call. They don't like my message. Or I tell them, I don't pick up the phone anymore to leave a message. To be specific, I don't pick up the phone because of the scam and fraud calls, which are endless. Once I was impressed with one. I mean, I didn't listen to it, but, well, I always check the numbers to see if it's anything. Anyone I know, recognize, need to call back. The number was purportedly from Apple, telling me that some product that I don't actually have from Apple had been compromised. Which was amusing for starters. I have to slay all the champions? Really? That seems like a lot like work. But most of them just spoof random phone numbers. These guys had actually spoofed the Apple phone exchange in Cupertino, showing from a 974. 408 974 exchange, which at least used to be Apple's exchange. Cupertino. So they had at least put in a little bit of work. But most of them just use random numbers. The one I keep getting is from the Tax Relief Department. Department of what? Nothing to do with the government. And the first number I got from them was a local JCPenney. Needless to say, not actually them. Wait, that's local to me, and since then I have also received numbers from them, calls from that same company from Arizona, and I think it was North Carolina. Of course, they're not actually in those places. They're scam calls. Oh my god. They're all over the freaking place. How about a little electricity right up your giblets? We'll go with giblets. We'll be kind. Make it giblets. We one-pop the big bad champion there. We've got one more to go. Phone scammers is something I have no patience with. I would be a big fan of re-implementing public floggings. For them. Hell, private floggings. I'd be fine with those, too. What? There's another freaking champion? Where? Oh my god, so many. What, 5 champions? Spread out all over the map? Okay, this is not a well thought out thing. 11th hour, you can do better than this. An enormous map with 5 champions spread everywhere. in the entire map is not friendly, helpful design. I'm now going through places I've already gone once. This is not fun. They should know better than this. Now, granted, not everyone knows better than this. But EHG 11th Hour got their start rather hilariously on Reddit with, I believe it was Judd, the game director, basically saying, hey guys, I want to make an ARPG. What do you think? Anyone else got any useful skills? Maybe we can make a game. God damn if they didn't. And we have a nemesis here as well. Empower. Sure. Why not empower? And then just murder. Champions, I know. I'd forgotten about that. I probably missed some other champions drops. Champions always drop a champions rare that can be quite good. So I have failed in my obligatory duty to check out Fat Loot. I feel shame. I'm over it, but, you know, I felt it very briefly. Let's see, where were we going from here? Stuns, maybe? Always crits one above 400 mana. My mana is getting close. Okay. Sold. I just need a little bit more mana, and then when I drop my big opening bomb on things, they're guaranteed to crit. Won't that be delightful? I'll be able to remove one back from here if I'm always critting. Although this does also give a chance for a larger meteor. Where was I going here? Probably there. Yeah. Teleportals. I can now teleportalize myself. And of course, Bzzzt. Cast speed. That one again. The chaining. I'll have to look into it at some point and see how much I'm actually shocking people. Nest of Nightmares. That's such a fun sounding item. I feel the need to make a build out of it already. Inflict spiders on melee hit. Oh my god. I am so making a build with this. 2% of damage leached as health on melee hit for you and your minions. Melee critical strike multiplier for you and your minions. That one is definitely getting a build made from it. Physical and necrotic. Dagger. I'm trying to think. It was melee? No, increased necrotic, not melee. Keeper. Not a keeper. For a second on hit, melee, bow, and health. Well, obviously not for this character. A 1 LP Kestrel. I already have a 1 LP Kestrel that I put like 150 health on or something like that. Well, those have all got to get put away. No. Yes. Yes. Ward threshold and ward per active maelstrom. Nah. All resistances while channeling. Sure, why not? How about this one? Health on kill. I never really cared for health on kill. Health on hit, I think, is a good, solid, dependable, reliable stat. Frostwall duration. Frostbite chance per second with Frostwall. I could make a Primalist. I don't foresee that coming.
Take care.
But it's not impossible. Let's see, where were we? Here? No. No, this will do. Note to self, we have a really cool item we want to make a build out of. Try to remember that. Remember what? Again? I don't want to say I'm likely to forget, but I'm... Where was I? Didn't we just drop another tab here? We did. I'm going to put this one there. I want to make something out of that. 18 Weaver's Will is a pretty good number. That's 4 or 5 in 4 affixes. So if they get good affixes, it could be just bonkers good. You can quote me on that. The phrase I used was bonkers good. Thank you. Try to quote me accurately and appropriately. We were headed here. No, that was where we were headed. Okay. Now we can be headed here and then maybe there, because that says, again, complete the objective to claim loot fit for a great mage. But I thought I dropped that. Maybe it was there. Maybe it scatters that influence about to various other places. Regardless, that's where I want to go. So here and then there. Good evening to those of you who've joined me. A lovely Tuesday afternoon here in the Bay Area. Destroy the siege spires. Okay, we're almost there. Oop. We'll just drop a great big meteor on everybody. You know. That's a champ. Alright, now this time we will remember, because he's a champ, he has a champions something. We want the champions drops, because they can be quite good. I think they have affixes not available.
Fools.
In any other way. Alright, something's dropping in. Oh, that's what's dropping in on these big kaboomies on me. Are you not dead yet, sir? I do not like getting hit by enormous big kaboomies, so I try to avoid those. Something went tearing off in that direction. We'll get back to that in just a second. We've got a nemesis. We will empower it again. Potion health converted to ward. Swarm blade form. I always wanted. I've made a swarm blade once. Anyway, we're gonna go ahead and power it. We're gonna drop. Drop big things on him. Big bad things. tomb. We will come back to the tomb. What the hell was skittering away? Oh, I've got shitloads of squirrels. That must be... That's what the squeaking was. I have shitloads of squirrels following me around. That's one of the things you can get from a shrine. I think it's the first time I've gotten it this season. That, the magic item that turns your wolves each into 2 squirrels, I think, was designed by the well-known PoE streamer, Scissor. I have played it once, and it was fun and effective. I believe I played it, though, after it got nerfed. Initially, when it came into the game, it was overpowered. And actually, I think if the guys are... If one of the community contributors is contributing, better to have the item come in a little bit overpowered than, whoops, underpowered. Alright, Echo is conquered. Now we head back to the tomb. Oh, in just a sec after we grab the Rune of Ascendance. And continue murdering things. I wanna... just... my job. He dropped a whole bunch of amber, memory amber, I think it is. Into the tomb. All right, we got 4 there to claim that. We got 3 there to claim that. More mana. We did want more mana because we want to get to 400. Not quite. Almost. Where do we want to spend this? Lightning blasts, shock chance, I think. We want to be very, very shocking. What in the hell do you think you're doing, young man? I aimed that, but got lucky. And that it hit him anyway. It was not well aimed on my part. I feel shame. I've let you down. Where do we need to go? I'm not sure. We'll head in this direction. Find out only later that we've gone the wrong way. Grab a bunch of amber. And more amber. Gotta say, so far, for a build I whacked together to work this well is surprising. Let's see if I can now give myself the kiss of death with that. Would you stop moving out of my kabooms? It hurts my feelings. Ow. Fortunately, he was dead by the time that landed. Clotho's needle. Chest of goodies. I didn't say it was going to be a chest of really impressive goodies. I think I have... Yeah, I have one that I have not yet enchanted up. Increased melee elemental damage. It's no use to me. Increased lightning damage. Double if you have over 300 mana, which I do. So that'd be 36. It's too bad you can't reroll affixes on those. As the second affix is really good. Melee damage and spell damage. Two Weaver's Will. I mean, I'm tempted to see if I can get anything really tasty out of it, but I'd have to rearrange my idols and disturb the equanimity of my resists, which are currently not great. More cold than I need and more lightning than I need. Void, poison, and physical are all a little bit lacking. Terrifyingly. So let me sell some stoof.
Yes.
To get it out of the old bag. Directly cast a necrotic spell. Doesn't strike me as being good even for that class. No Vit mana. That were int? Maybe. Spoiler, it wasn't int. No. Health and mana. Mana spent gained as ward. I already have one. It's still going. Wow. Why did it have to be void damage? Tier 7 void damage. Why couldn't it have been, oh, I don't know. Let's go with lightning damage. I'm going to set this here, and when this one finishes its Weaver's Willing all the way out, I'll drop that one. Both of those might be useful for another build in another time. Bleep, bleep. There we are. Clotho's needle. We will continue. That's a guaranteed unique drop. Sure, that's fun. Wait, nope, that one has Mage Loot. We're going there first. For an accomplished great mage such as myself, at least that's what it said, open caches to lure out the ambush. Just take a quick browse at these because I can. We've got two of them. Where are they? Not showing up on the minimap again. It's another one of the bigger maps. And blow her up a little bit. get the... no, we did not get the... Now we got the loot lizard. +1 legendary potential. I also want to make shield throw build, and I think that is, yeah, the best unique for it, I think. Been nice if I could have gotten an LP2 on it. But I don't want to be greedy. Yes, I do. I want to be greedy. A hardened, large nomad, idol of forward. Dirty humor. There are an awful lot of these shrouded matrons. Hey, why didn't she die? That's my question for her. Why weren't you dead? Drops idols. That'll take me a second. Or maybe not. Certainly didn't drop a whole lot of them. So freaking many again. Lord Lorca, a Death Grip champion. Champions thingy. That's not a particularly complimentary description of it. I'll grant you that. 8,000 gold. Ooh, he has an enormous number of hit points. Had. Calamity. Oh, come on, low level. Low level, no LP, really, seriously. Champion, where's the something that says champion? Champion's Kopesh. More runes. Cold Pen. 2 spell lightning damage. It's just always... It's one little thing in ARPGs. I really wish they would tune the loot a little more. So you're less likely to get contrary items. Items that do fire and lightning.
Yes.
Certainly there are builds that can use them, but generally speaking, that's not really what we're looking for. Almost 300%. 304 being the cap in necrotic damage. And damage over time at 120, which is tier 4. That's really stonking good. But the base is for totems. I don't know if that ever gets used by anybody in the history of the world. Spell damage and elemental damage. I think I will play with that one in a minute myself. Ward granted when casting Flame Ward. Less damage now. Endurance threshold. If I was... Wow. That's a lot of stats. That's a lot of health. It's a lot of melee lightning damage. We're getting a lot of good first affixes on these. That a champion's? Yeah. Champion's Homunculus Bile. Oh, that's nice. We all like a little Homunculus Bile. Melee fizz, melee damage, melee damage. Seems like that one likes a lot of damage. Ward per second. Health and ward per second and mana on top. I mean, we got some nice fun stuff. some cases, we
Take
already have an LP of those items waiting for us somewhere. Right. I'm going to start chucking some stuff. To the gods. As I'm just going to be grabbing. Okay, that one we want to work with. The rest of these we're going to put aside. Okay, that one's a keeper. That one's not. That one's a keeper. It's not. Possible keeper. Yeah, possible. A lot of these, actually. Yeah, most of the times the ones that have the purple affix on the suffix are far less likely to be of any use. Because you get something like, which one was it? Chance to ignite is, under the right circumstances, fine, but then you look at the other two things, melee, void, and cold. That's a complete three-way non-combo. And here, health on melee hit on a big, huge, honking, slow-hitting item, less than great. So, melee cold, I don't see you making a melee cold out of a big hammer like that. I mean, it's not impossible. You could do it. It's just not. Wait the woik. But we did want to take a look. God damn. At that. Elemental damage, spell damage. That's max. Poison is good. If we can get poison, that would be nice. Void or physical? Let's go with physical. Not sure if this is going to be good for this build or not. Physical resists. We've got 15, 11. All right, we've got it up as high as we can get it right now. Now we'll find out if it's actually better. It could easily be better than what we're using, although, again, it's a freaking minion implicit item, which is of utterly fucking useless. Anyway, so our Lightning Blast is currently at 12, 454. Slightly less, but comparable. This is Poison and Fizz. That's Poison and Fizz, but lower numbers. We'll stick with the one we've got for now. Might end up making a very nice second ring after we finish the Weaver's Will on this and then start seeing what this one has to offer us. So we're at 387 of our objective of 400 mana. Next up, let's see, we went that way because of the spidery influence. We've got more spidery influence over here. And a legendary, so we're going over there. We're heading in that direction. I didn't check how we were on stability for this. We're probably pretty close, being able to fight the boss for this series of maps. We have a champion. We're going to hit him. Ooh. He is not taking any freaking damage from me hitting him. At least not much. Alright, finally. Wow, that guy was way tougher than usual. And Champions Kopesh again. Apparently, Champions, the current fashion for Champions is Kopeshes. Find the Rune Prisons and slay the exiled mages. We've got another. But this one had the good grace to die in the first bazooka drop by yours truly. Cradle of the Erased. Another Weaver's Will item. We do love our Weaver's Will items. I cannot lie. I accidentally picked that up. Where are we going? Okay, so it seems like if you blast certain mobs, they fire off a little ball of energy just like just happened, and those buff other mobs. I'm not sure if it buffs them with a damage or if it buffs them with just the currency that dropped from. Alright, we have a nemesis who needs to get what forward for sure. And right on top of him is what? Hey, come on! That's still not dead. Now they are. Alright, we are going to finish off this nemesis because he is fully empowered. And Swarmblade and dodge rating. That might work out. Alright, here's one of the exiled mages we need to air out. Did he completely dodge that enormous, shocking ball? He did.
They would cage us all.
Traversal skill, cooldown on potion use. I'm not sure that's actually any good. Yeah, and all three of those were that. And I just don't think they're any good. I don't use potions that often. There are a few builds that use potions as a resource rather than, sort of a life-saving measure. This is not one of those builds. This is a build that wants to take potions to avoid death. Not to empower various and sundry skills. I am just getting so many of these big maps with mobs spread out all over the place. The big map isn't the issue. The backtracking, running to get around in them, is kind of the not fun part. I mean, comparing it though to, like, say, a PoE 2 map makes this a more defensible case. Because compared to the maps in PoE 2, it's fine. It's perfect. It would scarcely be better. Just a quick check to see if any have got, like, lightning as their primary thing. Alright, that should be, I think, the last of the Weaver's affixes on that ring. Check that in just a sec. Yeah, it is. A disappointing outcome, to be sure. We'll link that and replace it with that, and all of a sudden we've got a whole batch of 12.
My brilliance is unequaled.
His brilliance is unequaled. And I will say his brilliance in getting the hell out of my enormous shock blast, irking me. Ding 64. Seconds of haste after traversal, increased effective haste. That one's not bad. I'd have to roll off the attunement. And probably seal the experimental affix. That one, on the other hand, less interesting. Let's see. All right, we've got the tomb up here. What? Whoop. Didn't realize there was a dude there. And that dude, when they died, turned into more dudes. It's dudeception. Now, before we go into the tomb, let's finish off the last of the mages. I don't think I hit them with anything. Alright, that time I did. Advent of the Erased. The Last Laugh. Is that new? Not sure if I recognize that or not. Alright, the mage.
My brilliance is unequaled. I must break.
That's the Echo conquered. Bee is summoned. I don't think you can actually make a bee build. I think it's more of an inside joke / gimmick. We will now head into the tomb, where danger awaits us. Being all dangery and stuff. Yeah, there is one of these mobs that when they croak, they spit out other mobs. I just think that that's probably against union regulations. Somewhere in there got another level. 404. Now, when I drop that on their heads, they all crit. That did not appear to crit, as they were all standing there going, didn't even hurt. That's better. They task me, so I shall have them. Sure. There is a way to go here. Just drop that. Again, one of them survived. In the middle of them, one of them took no damage. So I don't know, maybe there is a damage soaking mechanic involved there? I do not know. So tomorrow I have a busy day ahead of me, but I do intend on enjoying the evening here with all y'all. And adult leisure beverages. That's my plan.
Fools.
I wonder, because it doesn't seem like it's always critting when it should be, because I'm being cautious in my use. That was an unpleasant visual. Trying to be cautious in my use. Anyway. I wasn't that time cautious. I just wanted to get him out of the way, as he was in a very unpleasant place to be standing. For me. For him, it was working out pretty well. I don't think... I'm going to take my chance at going this way. Have I chosen poorly? Maybe not. Whew. That was a whole lot of stuff lighting up in a big hurry. I was not overly enthused. Champion. Yes. I think they did a really good job on the visuals for the new stuff. These are creepy and somewhat indistinct looking critters. You can't really see. You can't. Are they bugs? Well, yeah. The spider influence is obvious because we're dealing with the weaver. But it's not like, oh, look, it's spiders. Or, oh, it's the spider equivalent of a centaur. You know, a drider, if you insist. Boss coming. Atropos there was the one who killed my warlock. Oh, didn't see it. Check that one, I don't think.
I am not a man of many pockets.
Yeah, blah, blah, blah. Sort. Oh, it didn't quite sort quite the right way. Now it did. I've got to say, I'm really enjoying the new season for Last Epoch. They just did a bang-up job. I don't suppose we can actually, like, enchant the Weaver's ones. No, class-specific. Curse you! I don't think I actually have any of those. Skip that bit. Although we do have... let's see. Chance to shock with lightning spells and spell fire damage. The ward decay and ward gained is... meh. Lightning cast speed while you have Aegis. Melee fire. I probably should swap that one and see if I can turn anything. Those both have 4 Weaver's Will. Let's... oh, we can use that. There we go. We'll just use that one. Lightning critical strike chance is good. Increased fire damage. Why am I going to be lightning? Why don't you do them thematically for me, please? Increased frostbite duration, so it's doing lightning, fire, and cold. I hate that. They all do that. Please, a new affinity for items where they're more likely to be rolled with supportive affixes. Please. I'm not talking about all the time. I'm not talking about as a slam dunk that you can't get stuff like that. It's just more likely. I don't know if I've had this character go out to Circle of Fortune yet. I'm not sure if I can get out there directly or not. To the first character. I'm just going to sell that one. Melee, critical strike, flat melee. Crit. Yeah. Okay, that's the Swarm Blade and a huge amount of dodge. Is that a 6? Yep, 6. Increased elemental damage, melee void. Fire Pen and Minion Fire Pen might be usable. Melee damage is least possible. Eight to all attributes. I just generally don't think that that's for, you know, an exalted item, a purple, delicious, delectable purple item. I want more from my purple items than that. Elemental damage. See, mana, chance to chill is okay. Minion damage, if I'm doing minion damage, sure. Increased void damage, of course. Minions. Okay, that's got the minion traversal skill, which is pretty nice, but the affix, the implicit on it is just not very good. Possible. Elemental damage. Okay, I'm gonna play with this one right now. Elemental damage, tier 6, primo. We love that. Cold resistance, tier 5, perfectly good. Poison, we can yank that up. But the increased healing effectiveness, it just doesn't work for me, which means we must Glyph of Chaos it. And that means it's going to increase its tier and randomly change the affix. What are we looking for? Lightning is good. Spell damage is good. Cold Pen is not good. Lightning Pen would be good. Again, mana. And there's no more we can do with it because it crit and got up 2 tiers. But it is more mana, which isn't bad. So tier 6 Ellie is 68%. That's 73%, but with a cast speed. On the other hand, this has more resists, which is pretty okay. Let's take a look and see. We don't need the lightning. That's got the spell damage and reduced health cost. That is probably is not replaceable. The 7 flat spell damage is probably not. 12, 454. I'm going to say around 13k. Not even. Wow. Yeah, way down. Yeah, the flat spell damage is just too good on that. Didn't we have another item with the affix like that around here somewhere? There we are. So if So critical strike chance, dodge, health. Dodge, neither here nor there. Critical strike chance is a percent. So it's not a flat. But if we're going to try, because we have this Carnage Champions sealed affix already, which is the same one we have on the other, we might be able to come up with something good here. Maybe. Lightning damage. What's the range on that? Does it give us the range? No, it just says X%. I'm going to assume it's higher than for spell or damage. Maybe not spell damage. How's spell damage looking? Got us another tier of health. I'll take free tiers of health anytime. 8% increased spell damage. We haven't lost any forging potential yet. I have now cursed it by saying that out loud. We lost 8. See? I told you. Only 1. Okay, so now just basing it on that, currently we are at 12,454. About 800 down. We can try and roll off the critical strike chance. We're trying to get lucky here again. That's a lot of endgame crafting is like this. Either trying to chaos a better affix, or there's also a shard you can use that will remove one randomly. And you're hoping to get lucky. Build's coming along great. Still no deaths on this guy. I'm working on my second monolith. And for my, for a homebrew build, I am extremely happy with it. Elemental damage, I'm even happier with it. Now we'll see if we can turn this into something actually good. Well, all of the forging potential is gone, but we might actually have something that's better with less resists. Cast speed. No, this one's got the resist instead of the cast speed. It's probably going to be a lower damage number. 12,454. Yeah, a little bit lower. But how are the resists? That was Fizz and Necrotic. Yeah, we didn't need the Necrotic, sadly. The Fizz is good. A little more Fizz resist is good. I think I'm going to stick with that for now. I don't think I can convince myself it's better, but I'm going to stick with it for now. Let me put my stuff away and we'll get back to killing stuff, as is tradition. This tab is full. Excuse me, what? Oh, it's a 3 high. I didn't realize that. Okay. How about that? Ha ha! How are we doing so far on this? Freeze rate multiplier is worthless to us. The cold resist isn't bad. I wasn't hitting the right buttons. Oh, that's a shared... Okay, as a shared affix, that's not bad. I once again come to you complaining about me being unable to not fill up all of my goddamn tabs. Let's see. Movement speed, chance to gain haste. When you gain haste, do I want to swap this out? Yeah. We're gonna try to Weaver's Will up some more mojo. I'm trying to juggle, and I'm being very, very bad at it right now. You'd think I'd have learned at some point in my life. Aha! Evidently, learning is not one of the things I'm good at. I used to be very good at learning. Now, not so much. Fine. Just put it all away then. There. It's all away. Yeah, the build is going great right now. Shockingly well. Yeah, we are enough. Okay, I do want to get whatever's waiting for me here. You know? Because it's complete the objective to claim loot fit for a great mage and guaranteed a unique. Then we're going to take care of the stolen lance and finish out this map of monoliths. I am both pleased and surprised at how well this has performed. A good chunk of that, I think, is probably due to the way I started it, which is browsing around at the stuff in, especially the uniques, in my bank, finding an inspiration, in this case the Valentia's items, I think, and saying, hey, that might be fun. The Valentia's items are, or sorry, Valatria's items are these two green items. The +1 spell lightning damage per 2 int, when you've got 64 int, is a flat 32 lightning damage, and then the additional stuff, +1 to lightning spells, meteor converted to lightning, increased shock duration per int. All of those are just really supportive. So I looked at that and I said, well, what lightning do I want to do? And I said, lightning blast. You get that right from the very start. And so lightning blast is a little slow coming online. Not terribly, a little. But then it's not unusual for the first couple of levels to be a little bit dicey. Strength is our first roll on that. We can definitely replace this as our belt item. And that will be another fraud or scam call. Yay! I'm so not happy. I will mute and be right back. It's the scammers again. They're actually leaving messages. The Tax Relief Department. I didn't know there was one of those. And what's really shitty about it is they claim that to get removed from their list, you have to press a button. And all that does, if you're familiar with the way the scammers work, is confirm that that's a number that someone lives at. I have to slay Spreading Frost. That's not the most awesome name for an Indian brave ever. Why did they not freaking die? There we go. Champion. Maybe that they have a protection aura around them until something happens, until you get close enough or mobs around them die. Because they took a real shot to the melon once that sphere around them, that sort of crystal glowy sphere that evidently was protecting them, was gone.
Fools.
We have another champion. Spreading Frost, that's one we needed. Ravager's Dart. I do not know what the hell that is. We should have a champion's something here. Maybe not? Maybe not. But mage gear, so I do want to check on these real fast. Alright, we're going to fight the three... Ooh. Humming Bee and Arthur's Legacy.
Yes.
That is a lot of health. Minion critical strike chance, maximum skeletons, deceivable. Bow Fizz and Fizz. Oh, flat Bow Fizz. Yeah, that seems pretty okay. Spell damage while channeling. I would want to keep that in case I ever want to channel. Mana and health. Currently have Vit and Int. Health and Void. I doubt we can get as good as stuff. That's what that has. What, 6? Tier 6 Int. So this can probably get this up to like 14 or something like that. But it's not bad. Poison damage. Do I look like the kind of mage who does poison damage? I don't think so.
Take care.
I'm a much, much better looking mage than that. Okay. That's the one I didn't remember seeing before. It has 1 LP. Level 39. Ah, recurve with Heartseeker. That's for one of the new... that's for the new skill for Marksman, I think. Heartseeker. Recurve basically is the chance that your arrow goes through something and then whirls around and hits him again. Throwing damage with Heartseeker is per 5 dexterity. For throwing instead of using a bow. Interesting. It now counts as a throwing skill and scales with throwing damage. Oh, sure it can. This one is going to a new place of honor with the... I think I want to build something out of that. That's 2 of those today we've had. The I want to build something with that. I need to organize. I need to hire someone to organize for me. Okay. We'll start with the Wengari Stronghold. I will mention this is not my favorite location in the game, as it is the location where most of my characters, more of my characters have died here for the first time than any other place in the game. God damn it. And I hate, fucking hate, that they put mobs here.
Yes.
So you can't talk to the NPC you're supposed to talk to. And in this case, they've got the conversational options. You can't even get out of it easily by just clicking through it. You have to move your mouse to it. I hate. It's maybe the only thing in the game I hate right now. Is the NPC conversational UI. It's just dreadful. Rest of the game is so good and so polished, and that's just terrible. I mean, a little bits and pieces of the voice work are equally bad. We're up to tier 3 on that. That one's done. That one's done. Strength and Vit. Probably not for this character, but for another perchance. Pardon the yawn. Oh man, wow. I even got a really good night's sleep last night, too. As I was saying, the Wengari Stronghold is where I've had many, many of my characters die their first death. The Matriarch and Patriarch are unpleasant. I don't think they actually are here for this, though. For this story instance thing. Oh, birds. So I don't know what I'm going to play tomorrow. Maybe start a new character here, or maybe keep playing this one. Don't know. I just have no real clue. We're about a week out from Rail Gods of Hystera. And a week and a half out from the beta for Dune Awakening if I get the invite. I'll be unamused if I don't get the invite, having already purchased said product. Level 65. Oop. Man, he didn't drop stuff. Echoes conquered. And we're on to the next one. The Siege of Farwood. Is that 2 dings on the... Armor, health, vit, and strength. It won't be good for this character, but it will be good for... No, a sentinel type. Over here, that's what, tier 5 already? Come on, guys, you got 7 more tiers. Stop with the freeze rate multiplier and cold resistance. Boss mob? I am beneath his skill. Him. Nope. Almost finished. Now he's finished. One thing you should never do if you're in UI, you never pop up a fucking modal dialogue box when something's going on the screen. GGG. Sorry. Wow. GGG. Oops. EG. 11th hour. EHG. That's not acceptable. Not a big deal. Not acceptable. That's bad UI. Take it from me. Spell damage and chance to refund 20% of the mana cost. Value's doubled with 500 maximum mana. Well, I'm over 400 now. And now we're going to finish off this set of echoes, monoliths, with the Argentum Spire. In this timeline, Osprix forces interfere with the retrieval of the Lance of Heorot and take it for themselves. Defeat God Hunter Argentus and reclaim the Lance of Heorot. Alright.
Come for the lance, have you? You shall die.
Finish him off. Boss.
I am a god. Exhilarating.
Got him. And there's modal dialogue boxes should never pop up in the middle of the screen like this. At least in this case, there's no more mobs. But in that last case where there were still mobs around that could kill you, just not acceptable. Modal dialogue boxes in general, bad. Helmet drop rate, shield drop rate, or one-hand catalyst. They're not huge things. They're just really not needed. The fact that they're not needed means that they shouldn't be there. If you're playing around in the middle of the screen, they can appear here in a smaller format. So another thing that can happen is you can accidentally click on them and choose something you didn't want. Now in this case, at least they have confirmations. But that's not always the case. Let's see. So theoretically you want us up there. But I think I actually want to go, well, we'll go ahead and get this one and then we'll double back. I mean, I pick at about those things because I've been working with computers my entire life. Since I was 8 or 10, when I first was exposed to computers. I've seen a lot of good and a lot of bad. And I object to the unnecessary bad. I think we want to go this way. There's a thing up there that is that. I don't know what it is, but it's one of the new things. I think it's the boss will drop a web echo, a Weaver's web echo. Still, it's been a while since I found a... I'll go this way instead. And since I found a cemetery. I found a cemetery today. I didn't push my timer button. I have 4:24. Those things were attacking me when I think I was in the grace period. We do have a tune. Open caches to lure out the ambush. Is that the ambush? Is he big? Whoop. Let's try to avoid big, nasty, angry scorpion. No, that was not the ambush. Just a random champion. Well, we're near the tomb now. Let's just go in the tomb. Usually, I think they've done a really good job with these two. Oh, you little snot. How about you eat that? Increased health is nice. Dude, I'm working on something here. God. That sound is, I believe, the backing up sound of one of the neighbor's vehicles. And it's really, really annoying. Just regular. Oh, no, we've got at least one of the advanced flavor. Delicious, mage flavored. Not sure what I want to do for the next one. I now have two builds where I set items aside because they just look like so damn much fun. I'm going the wrong way. And now, sadly, I'll probably get back and discover that the other way, which I was thinking is the right way, is in fact a dead end, and I will be sad. I can be sad in advance. In fact, I was correct. I now have that aforementioned sad. I was going the right way and doubled back the wrong way. I doubled back to get to the dead ends. That is not optimal. I'm not optimizing my game time experience. He has a lot of freaking hit points. Well, I dropped a meteor on his corpse. I feel better. Not really. All right, now I have a coruscating green flame beam everywhere I go. I would like one of those in real life, please. I will behave myself next year, Santa, I promise. All you gotta do is bring me these coruscating beams. And I'll be good. As close to good as I can manage, which is ain't that close, really. I'll drop that on him. An astrolabe. Astro, of course, star, and labe for lip. Star lip. All right, boss coming up. It's Atropos again.
Fools.
Oh! Well, that's the first death for that character. Oh, look at the overkill damage. It barely killed me, and I killed them at the same time. I got stuck in the freaking web. I could feel it and see it. The loot. It saves the loot. Okay, well, that's better. I feel less awful. It does give you the loot, so that is better.
Yes.
But that's the character's first death. That's a really good helm for a rune dude. That's a really good item for, like, ignite builds. Melee cold. No, you see, it's already got melee fire. You put melee cold on it. You can't scale both of those. Those both don't scale. Mana and cast speed. That's a lot of mana on that thing. Hold on to that. We want to go for a big-ass mana build. We'll quickly break that one up. Psh, didn't get the one affix you wanted. Of course it did.
Yes.
I would like to complain. I want to register a complaint. I haven't decided about what yet, but I definitely want to register one. See, now those are coordinated. You have Ignite, you have Fire Pen, you have Fire Damage, and you have Minion Fire Damage. You see? It's a very polite piece. Can I roll off the fire on this one? Oh my god, again, the amulet. The implicits are so bad. Why must life be the way it is? Fizz Pen, poison damage. That's a lot of Fizz Pen. But it also has Elemental Pen. That's a weird weapon. And then it's got minion goodies on it. Too much thinking. I can't work with something that requires that much thinking. Lightning Pen, damage over time.
Take care.
My first death. I'm so bummed. Pardon the yawn again. At least on the positive side, content. You know? Let's drop both of those in there. Fragments of the Shattered Lance. Pardon me, did you shatter your lance, sir? Yeah, I did. I've been looking for that. Quick check. What are our resists? If we've got necrotic or cold, we can yoink them. Got necrotic, we can yoink that. We have cold. We can't quite yoink that one. But we'd rather have that one. 12%. I don't know. I think we can afford to be slightly undercapped and maybe grab an elemental and push all of those over. Poison and Void would be good. You see, that one is coordinated. Why didn't I try to upgrade that? What is wrong with me? What is wrong in my head? The list is long. All right, so what would we like? We would like Poison, Void. Maybe an Elemental. Six, 8. Oh, Poison and Void, right? Poison and Void. Poison resist. 12. Not bad. Ideally, we would like some of the spiffy new idols. That's Fizz. Why is Fizz there? I guess it's got poison and resist. Alright, so poison. And there was Void, right? Let's check for Void. Do we have a stand-up 2? I don't think so. Probably not. Pardon me? Void, 16. Void, okay. With that. 16 Void, Necrotic Pen, 15 Void, Necrotic Pen, Fizz Pen, Fizz Pen, Poison Pen, Poison Pen Letter. That's a lot of Void Resist. That's like some elevated kind of thing. So our Void is now okay. Our Poison is poor. The rest are at or very nearly at cap. It's totally because of that I died, and it has nothing to do with incompetence on the part of the player, okay? I think it's important that we all acknowledge that clearly the player's incompetence was not involved in any way, form, or fashion. I fucked up. I tried to face tank through and just finish the mob, and that was dumb. D-U-M. Dumb. A toxic scepter of stillness. Well, that's poison involved somewhere. I wasted a whole bunch of mana. That's the problem with Meteor. Over in this. Oh, okay. You didn't want to stand still? How about now? Nope, you still don't want to stand still. Oh, champion. Volcano champions. Volcano, I think, is that really cool affix that I was talking about. Elemental crit. Okay, it's not that good. It's not the one I thought it was. It's not the really good one I thought it was. I am sad. Fools. Fools. Pyromancy. That's fire. I don't do fire. I do nature's way cooler element, lightning. All the other elements wish they were lightning, you know? Except plutonium. Plutonium's happy the way it is. Plutonium's sort of like the grown-up in the room. Another level for me. Alright, we've got a wild gate here. I guess the other must be another tomb. Oh, I have another tomb I can go die in. That's always good for laughs. And kaboom. Why did that boom kaboom not kaboom you out into the oblivion? Jerk. Echo conquered. Why did all those other guys then pop up if the Echo was conquered? Me no understanding. We definitely want to get the mage.
We cannot be contained.
He says he cannot be contained. Oh, seems like he's being kind of contained. Oh, alright. Try that. Power? Unlimited power?
They would cage us all.
Seconds. Frenzy after traversal. Effective frenzy. Ward gained on traversal. Ward gained per missing mana. How far away? We're going to try to get to this tomb. I assume it's a tomb. Not that way, we're not. So, in fact, we're not getting that way at all. Wait, what? Did I not finish it? Were there multiple? Use your portal to travel onwards. What the hell happened to the... Oh, there it is. Okay. Doesn't show up if you've got the overlay map activated. Learned something new today. You learn something new every day. Sort of. Not necessarily, really. Money or not money? Let's go with not money. I mean, you got your... Not money for nothing and your chicks for free. Old guy music reference. How's the Weaver's stuff looking? Strength, Vit, Armor, and Health. Yeah, that's going to be a really, really good one for Sentinels. We got 4 left here. Fizz resist is nice, but the 7 in freeze rate multiplier and cold resist is not welcome. It's a great mechanic. Again, never more do I wish that they had affix tuning, shall I call it? Where affixes had a higher affinity to correlate with similar affixes. Lightning with lightning, fire with fire, cold with cold, fizz with fizz, and so on. Not all the time, but as a different type of particular loot you can hunt down. Rare. It can be more powerful. More delicious. Slay enemies until the item drops. That would be the item right there. A cocooned item. I thought we had one other cocooned thing drop that I remember. Basically all a cocooned item is. Those are solid affixes, that's for sure. Elemental resistance, health, Vit and Int, with mana and mana regen, instead of just mana regen. It's got mana and better mana regen. What are the tiers for? Interesting, that must be a higher level range. Yeah, it's a higher base level range on that. It starts at 52. This is 49. So the tier 4 on that one is 85 and 67 on that one. The LA resists are the same. Obviously, we can't get the int to match. Let's see where we end up. I'll poke at it a bit. Just a second after I open this up. Crest of Unity. Have another point to spend. A little bit more spell damage. Always welcome. LA resist. Took 7. Took 6. So we're going to give up 7 int. What else could we get on there if we sealed vitality? Suffixes. No, affixes. Prefixes. Sorry, we want prefixes. As int and vit, we could get mana. Increase spell crit doubled if you have over 300 mana. We have 3 of those. Chance to gain lightning aegis. Level of meteor. Huh. Okay. I'm going to use one of my not very large number of glyphs of despair on that to seal the vitality. So now we have an open prefix. We have 16 potential. Now, what do we get additionally? Spell damage, okay. Would really like 2 more, so please don't go all the way. Thank you. How about 1 more in addition to this one? Thank you. So we'll be able to put another one on. 39% increased spell damage, I expect. That is probably going to be more than the 7 than we get from the 7 int. So we're at 11k right now. Right, because I took some stuff off to put on Weaver's Will items. We're at 11k. Slight drop? Really? Huh. The meteor. Curious about that. 83? 84, but we do have another point to spend now in the skill for meteor. Another crit multi-point. Slightly disappointing. Ever so slightly disappointed.
Yes.
Also the slightly lower base level. Poison damage, melee fizz. Would I ever use a Scepter of Stillness when I was whacking things? So. Fire aura on crit with a 1-second cooldown. Increase fire damage if you're over 300. We do need to get rid of that sooner or later, but I don't think this is going to take its place. We have a cocooned amulet we still need to open. We didn't undo that. You're not familiar with that, and I've only seen 1, as far as I can remember. I insist on it. Oh, Tribo Electro. That's right. This is the other thing we were looking at. Tribo Electro. It's the wrong freaking. Oh. We only have 1 Crest of Unity. We have a shitload of snow blinds. I know that. Where are all the snow blinds? Man, I had a bunch of those. Where'd they go? Trash them all. Did I trash them all? There's another one I was thinking about making something out of. Additional poison damage on a poison-based item. That just seemed pretty good. We can definitely get rid of an extra Pebbles collar. All right.
Yes.
So the cocooned amulets are just, or cocooned item is just a unique. And you have to right-click on it to see what it is. What do we get? Bleeding Heart with 2 LP. That's not bad. That would be really good for a non-caster build, because it puts bleeds on you when you cast a spell. But other than that, you get a little bit less health regen, but 7% of your damage is least as health. And it's LP2, so I can put 2 real affixes on it. That's got to go in the, what are we going to make out of this? So we've got the Ravager's Dart, which will allow us to use thrown weapons with Heartseeker. Which means we can carry something else. Say, the Nest of Nightmares. As a melee weapon while we're throwing Shuriken. And the Bleeding Heart with 2 good affixes as a starter. If we're throwing Shuriken, we don't need a bow. Right? If you have no active Heartseeker and are in combat, you throw one at an enemy. Limited to 1 active Heartseeker. Okay, that's different. And the Nest of Nightmares with 18 Weaver's Will. Inflicting spiders on melee hit. I have no idea what class that should be used for. Anyway, I think I'm going to call it here for the evening. This is seems to me to be a reasonable break place. Let me check how much time we're at. I'll do one more. I think. One more. I just can't stop. I can't stop myself. Bows. Well, if I'm going to make a bow character, even if they're only using bows temporarily, sure, we can start there. We'll start with that. One more, and then I'm going to call it an evening. I'll start my spiel right now. I want to thank you guys for hanging out with me tonight. As always, very appreciative indeed. I'm appreciative you don't have better taste. Oh! Back again at the usual time tomorrow, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern, middle of the night in Europe, morning in Asia, Australia, and New Zealand. I really, honest to God, have no idea what I'm going to be playing. Probably more Last Epoch. And possibly a new build.
Fools.
But beyond that, I don't know. In the near future, we've got a couple of things. We hopefully have the beta for Dune Awakening. And we definitely have, unless they change the date again, the early access release for the best game name of the year, Railgods of Hystera. Which I will definitely be playing. Those should both be up in the next week for Railgods. I think it's on the 5th. And then the 9th for the beta for Dune Awakening. Assuming neither one has more delays, of course. I need to slay enemies to locate the unstable rifts. This is one of the unstable rifts. I kaboomed it. And it's closed. What's the opposite of a rift? Well, whatever that is, that's what that thing is now. I really dislike those chimeras or whatever they are. They're one of my least favorite mobs for a couple reasons. One, they're mobs that spawn other mobs. Winged carrion is what they're called. Never a fan of mobs that spawn other mobs. And they're relatively tough. The thing they spawn is not very tough, but they are. And here we go with the second. That is 2 rifts unrifted. I wish there was a circumstance. Thank you for hanging out. Wish there was a circumstance where they would drop white quality items that had very high forging potential, so that we could try to do a little actual tabula rasa crafting. Just because, generally speaking, the crafting here is so good. Now, obviously, it's not going to be to everyone's taste because it is relatively deterministic. Although, there will always be those who are going to be unhappy that it's not completely relativistic. Those who miss the old days of harvest, PoE, and other similar crafting mechanics that allowed, if you had enough time and money, allowed you to craft perfectly designed items, perfectly statted to exactly what you wanted. Alright, the Echo is conquered. I'm going to check those bows real fast. And see if anything stands out. Quivers, for instance. Bow fizz, increased lightning, a couple of resists. That's kind of boring. I would assume you don't have to use a quiver if you're not using a bow for the Heartseeker. I suppose you could, although I think they're only going to have things like the implicits are all going to be bow, specifically bow implicits. Okay, I'm going to call it here. Again, guys, thank you very much for hanging out. I already gave you the details on tomorrow. I'll be enjoying adult leisure beverages if you don't like drunk streaming. There are a great many non-drunk streamers out there. But that's what I'm going to be enjoying tomorrow. Probably back here with... I'm going to look into the character choices for a couple of things. Probably starting another new character. In a lot of ways, the leveling is what's fun. The significant clicks of the power-ups as you get access to new gear and new skills and stuff is really fun for me. So that's the plan for tomorrow. Again, guys, thanks for hanging. Hopefully you'll see me soon. I hope the rest of your day or evening goes awesome. Rest of your week, the same way. Take care.